Om Sadashivat Samarambam Shankaracharya Madhyamam Asmadacharya Paryantam Vande Guru Param Ishvaro Guratmeti Muti Veda Vibhagine Vyomabda Vyapta Dehaya Dakshinamurtaye Namaha Sava Vedanta Siddhanta Gocharam Tamagocharam Govindam Paramanandam Satguru Pranatoshmaham Om Shanti 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 Om Namaste, welcome. We have seen in our last class of Tripura Dattatreya at the very end, explaining and unfolding the three categories of Jnanis, which is something that it's somehow everybody's interested to understand. What is this deal, If Jnana is one for all, so why to have different categories of Jnanis, if knowledge is the same? And then Dattatreya was explaining knowledge is the same by the condition of the human intellect is different. The knowledge is it, but the manifestation of this knowledge is going to be different according to the quality of one's intellect. According to the quality, so one is going to be more vulnerable to the pressure coming from vasanas. According to the purity of one's mind, the vasanas are going to be not so powerful. And some of them are going to be moved by too much action, which is a problem, some too much desires. And then we have the other kind of jnani, which is the perfect jnani according to the scriptures, in the sense it's the best manifestation of jnana in a human experience. But therefore, the activities depend on the predisposition, and the positions are associated to the karma. So, chapter 19. After having heard Sri Dattatreya speak, thus Parasurama asked him further questions regarding the conduct and activities of the different jnanis. Of course, everybody, Dattatreya gave a short introduction, saying, I want to know more, because I have the impression that I'm the highest jnani, and I want confirmation here, right? The ego always, yeah, I'm up there. I'm the top. So he asked further questions. Lord, please tell me clearly how the intellects differ according to the stages of jnana. It's not wisdom of one kind alone, being simply the revelation of the self, the revelation, I am not the body-mind, I am consciousness, and I am free from the experience of the body-mind. So this is the only knowledge there is. This is the liberating knowledge, is of one kind, is the most simple thing, and it's the same for all. And then how come there are different stages of wisdom, of wise people? So it should not be, it seems to be strange. Moksha is the simple unfolding of the self and is alone to be sought. How can it be dependent on stages of development according to mental disposition? Do the methods also differ in the same way? So, of course, the method is the same, which is self-inquiry, self-investigation in the light of the teachings of the Upanishads with the help of the Guru, regardless of the stage of the jnana of the Guru. So there are some, the methods is the same, but the stages are different. Thus ask Sri Datta, the ocean of mercy, began to answer his question. I shall now tell you the secret of it all. There is no difference in the methods, and there is no difference in jnana. Yeah, it's only one knowledge. I am limitless, free, independent consciousness, and I'm free from the experience of the body-mind. And the method is the one and the only one, which is jnana, because it's only a question of an understanding. So there are many methods for what? For preparing the mind. But for self-knowledge, there is only one method, which is self-inquiry and self-realization, understanding, knowledge. We prepare through so many different methods until we come to the jnana yoga of the Upanishads. But the fruits differ according to the grades of accomplishment. So accomplishment here means how accomplished in terms of purity the jnana is. So the jnana, according to how purification is processed before self-knowledge, and can be processed after self-knowledge as well. Although a jnana may say like, no, I don't care, because I know that I'm consciousness, even if I'm the third category of a jnana. I'm free. I have this knowledge. This knowledge helps me and protects me against identification with the whole process. Even if I have a lot of vasanas that create some trouble, I'm not my vasanas. I don't deal with this karma because I don't own any karma. So there are all kinds of attitudes and types of jnanis. So the fruits of self-knowledge is different from self-knowledge. Self-knowledge is one and the same. So the fruits of self-knowledge is what is going to bring about perfect liberation or moksha, or not. The fruits differ according to the grades of this purification accomplishment. The same extends through several births, and on its completion, jnana easily unfolds itself. So when we go through several lifetimes, several births, pursuing this final understanding rather than pursuing more and more experience in duality, be it in this realm or in the subtle levels, subtle realms, interdimensional realms, all these things. It's still, for each one of these realms, you need a body with a similar frequency, to that kind of realm, and then you're going to experience the objects of that realm. The same way we need the dreamer body to experience the dream objects. So this knowledge puts an end to all of that. Otherwise, we go through so many births, as it says here, until the jnana is going to make sense and it's going to unfold easily and effortless in the mind of the seeker, because the seeker is no longer thinking, and he did a lot of accomplishment in terms of purification. The teachings immediately make so much sense that any idea of continuity for the sake of enjoying my punya on this realm or other realm, duality, I want to consume experience, I don't give up, I don't let go of my status as a experiencing entity, either through this body or any other bodies available to me in the subtle realms. You understand? So the individual has to be in a point that says, I don't care for punya, celestial punya. I don't care to have such songs with Brahmaji on a Brahmaloka or anything, I'm done. I don't want to continue experiencing duality. I want to own my non-dual nature, and just rest in total peace, because in experience, it's okay, it's beautiful, it can be enjoyed. The wiser the person is, more enjoyment. But most everybody who wants to have continuity in duality, experiencing objects whatsoever, realm or body one use for that, is still looking for completion through interacting with objects on these realms, this realm, or otherwise, people are still like, no, I'm going to find true satisfaction and peace and happiness when I experiencing a beautiful world, a beautiful world here on Earth or somewhere else, or in one of these beautiful locus. It's still Maya deceiving the minds of jivas. You understand? So, but once through several births, one comes to the end, completion, and Yana have accomplished a large degree of maturity, has given up, the person has given up the desire for experiencing duality, and then Yana becomes easy. The degree of effort is according to a stage of incompleteness brought over by part birth. So how much effort it takes to prepare, purify, and turn this self-recognition, because self-knowledge, as I often say, is just the beginning of another stage in our process of spiritual elevation. I like to use this term. So the degree of effort is according to the stage. The stage is where I'm still find myself to be the incomplete body-mind. I have desires for this and that, and I want to enlighten, but I want to cover my beds here, and I want to pursue my desires as well, other desires. And this comes from past lives and past births. So, and then if one recognizes that I'm being misled, deceived by mind that now has project, desires that we can call celestial desires or noble desires or mystical desires, or whatsoever desire. If one comes to the final understanding that one is Purna, one is complete Brahman, complete consciousness, and which is the only reality there is, and then one came to the maturity required, after which one does not need to be efforting all the time. The degree of effort is according to the belief that I'm still incomplete and I'm covering my bets here, and then I'm going to, this is ignorance that's still there, and it comes from very many past births. However, Yana is eternal and no effort is really needed. Is there a need for effort? No, because Yana, I am, and I am consciousness is always there. It's just a question of a click of understanding. Is there any need for effort? No, there is not need to effort. The effort is to remove the sense of incompletion, the sense, of I need to do certain things and have certain experience to find completion. So the removal of ignorance or the process of purification requires effort. But Yana, at the very end, requires no effort. That's why it often happens when you least expect. In my case, it happened when I least expect. You understand? The recognition, boom. Because it is already there and needs no accomplishment, Yana is pure knowledge, is pure consciousness, pure intelligence. It's the same as consciousness, which is ever self-shining. So consciousness shining in the human intellect. It's pure knowledge, pure consciousness, pure intelligence. And what effort we need to do in order to shine? We just need to remove the conscious thought that comes with this shining consciousness in the human intellect that says, I am the body. We just need to remove that misunderstanding, and then understand our true nature and claim it. And of course, this claiming, it may take more time or less time according to the degree of hardwire vasanas, self-ignorant vasanas, trying to tell, no, this is not possible, no. So Yana is always there shining in the human intellect as Aham, you know? And do we make any effort to shine as Aham every day when we get up? No. We just need to understand this Aham is not the body. This Aham is consciousness, that manifests. Without the body-mind, it does not manifest as I, although for the sake of teaching, we say it's the I. No, there is no I to consciousness. It manifests as I, Aham, through the Jivatma, and without any effort. The same way we make no effort to digest our food, right? Because Ishvara knows how to do that for us. Life should be effortless, but our limiting, self-limiting notions, mistaken notions about the nature of happiness, the nature of the I, and so on, makes us go through a lot of efforts, and our efforts, in most cases, are made in the wrong direction. I think I mentioned last week, I have a friend that keeps insisting that I am deluded. And the last thing I heard from this person is that the universe is so incredible, the realms are so incredible, and there are so many consciousness. And I told him many times, explain a little bit, the consciousness is not there's so many. And now his belief is there is a certain consciousness that create this consciousness in the earth, and it is an I consciousness that creates this. I mean, the guy is so lost in all of that. And he keeps presenting me things, trying to insinuate that I am arrogant, and to say that I'm free and I don't need to do anything because self-knowledge takes care of everything. And I say, oh, how can you say there is so much you don't know? I say, yes, in the scientific world, I know nothing of, but I know, but these people, they want to, no, it's out there, it's more knowledge, more experience, more mysticism, more punya. They don't get it. There is no effort to shine as Aham. It's just a question of define yourself and claiming what you are. And we need these teachings because they are going to undo the misunderstanding. Aham bodhasmi. So Aham punasmi, consciousness. Aham anandasmi. Because it is already there and needs no accomplishment, this shining yanam, this conscious, this pure intelligence that shines in the human intellect is always there and needs no accomplishment. It's the same as consciousness, which is ever self-radiant. What kind of effort can avail to disclose the eternally self-resplendent consciousness? It shines everywhere. Oh, no, I mean, on the rock, it does not shine. It does shine as existence. So, and then you need the philosophical aspect of Vedanta to understand that. So, what kind of effort can avail to disclose the eternally self-resplendent consciousness? It's all the time shining. Nothing is going to disclose it because it's not hidden, or it's hidden in plain sight. Because you shine as consciousness and you keep saying, no, I'm still looking for consciousness, or I'm still not, I heard about that, but I'm still not fully convinced that I am consciousness. I take myself to be the body mind. What effort? Effort is just to replace those wrong notions. Oh, but how do I know that's wrong notion? I mean, it doesn't matter. One notion is going to create suffering. The other notion is going to create happiness. So make up your mind and choose. You understand? And once you understand what it means, Aham Brahmasmi, Aham Purmasmi, and then you see that is the only truth there is. Okay? Because everything is happening within consciousness. And I am consciousness. What kind of effort? Being coated with a thick crust of infinite vasana. Now, the self is shining, but the self appears as the Jiva Atma, The Jiva-Atma is a byproduct of its interaction with the field of experience, the Dharma field, and through this interaction, predisposition of vasanas, of tendencies, develop in the subconscious mind of the Jiva-Atma, in the causal body. So now we have the causal body that has some mental, emotional impressions, dispositions. They are mostly about likes and dislikes. And this is the crust of infinite dispositions, okay? Residual ignorance, the ignorance that is subconscious or unconscious even. Yeah? And this, because it is in the subconscious or in the unconscious mind, in the causal body, it's not easily perceived. We don't see our ignorance because it sits there. It manifests in the mind as, I need this and this and this in order to feel complete and happy. And then it manifests. But then people normalize that thought. They say, no, this is not ignorance. This is normal. Everybody feels that I need this and this and that in order to feel happy and complete and peaceful, and secure. No, this is normal. No, it's not really normal. Your nature, your nature does not put up with this sense of limitation, and incompletion, because your nature is the opposite of incompletion and limitation. So investigating the true nature of the mind, and then you come to a point of having to agree, at least intellectually, with Vedanta. So it is a crust of wrong or ignorant or anyana vasanas, which are so subtle in the causal body that they are not perceived except when it pops in the conscious mind. And very few people like to admit that, because people are so immature. I mean, you guys cannot, you guys are the only group that I can complain. I have to complain with you a little bit, The more you move into the Upanishads, into this incredible knowledge that is available to all, but nobody is even close to understand it, the more and more you remain alone. I can't relate anymore with anybody on a kind of a spiritual level, but with my few students. Because everybody is going to be talking about ayahuasca or G's or, which has nothing to do with spirituality. And then I cannot relate, because anything I say, it's waste or appears as if I'm crazy or I'm deluded. I cannot talk about spirituality. And then if we talk about mundane things, it's so infantile, the discussion that. So I avoid people. I came here thinking that maybe I would find a few mature people. I give a lift to people here and there, and they all say, "Oh, I'm here because I came here because I'm doing some spiritual." What is spiritual? There is nothing spiritual about what they are doing. And as the Gita says, don't disturb the mind of the ignorant. Leave them with Ishvara. So I can't talk to anybody anymore about anything, either because if I talk about spirituality, they think that I am deluded. Not that they are deluded by Maya. I am deluded by the Upanishads, And if I talk about mundane things, how long can you do that? Saturday, I have to go to a birthday and I have to meet with a bunch of samsaris. And I'm going to make an effort. In the end, I managed to enjoy a little bit, but I can't have a conversation with anybody. The only thing I can say is to make jokes. I like to meet people on the samsaric level only to play jokes and have a laughter. Cannot talk about anything meaningful. Isn't it like that, Lee?
It certainly is like that. I do find, though, that my understanding of the jiva and its relationship to Ishvara is very useful for the psychology of my friends. And sometimes I can find a way to be helpful just by, not calling it what it is, but just by helping them see a different thing than they're into.
Yeah, I mean, there are two possibilities. One is you are much wiser than me, and second, you have very good friends, because at least you can deliver them some karma yoga without saying that it's karma yoga, and that's the way, Just it's okay, I mean, God knows everything, and take it easy. You have no control, so those things help. But I mean, I don't know. I like my chickens. I definitely prefer them.
And my best company is my cats.
Sick crust of infinite vasanas. The incrustation must first be soaked. Oh, this is so beautiful. These thick crusts of vasanas, of ignorant vasanas, self-ignorant vasanas, that compels Jiva Atma to waste one's life trying to experience what it likes and avoid what it does not like. This incrustation is so profound that first it needs to be soaked in the running steam of mind control and carefully scraped off with the sharp chisel of self-investigation. Oh, what a poetry, huh? Unbelievable, huh? Unbelievable. So what you're gonna do? I have all this ignorance. Okay, just soak it overnight, over months, over years. Okay. How I'm gonna soak it? Soak it into your efforts to purify and control the mind and the sense organs, and make a spiritual effort. Become a karma yogi. Soak it into karma yoga, and this thick crust of ignorance is going to begin loosening up. And then when it has loosened up enough, and then you finish up the work with self-investigation, in the light of the teachings of the Upanishad. Then one must turn the closed urn of crystal quartz, namely the mind, cleaned in the aforesaid manner, on the grinding well of alertness, and finally open the lid with the lever of discrimination. So as this passage, I did not understand very much the analogy, but if somebody wants to elaborate, then one must turn the closed urn of crystal quartz, namely the mind. You have to turn the mind, the purified mind, clean in the aforesaid manner. So I did not know. I mean, the English there is complicated for me.
Yeah, it is. But I think that, as you said, the karma yoga and the disciplines of the sadhana, just the disciplines of viragya and viveka and so forth, and then the manana of self-investigation, and finally the attention with nididhyasana.
Yeah. And here he says on the grinding well, he used this part is alertness, which is developing a focus, one-pointed mind, and then once you have gone through all these efforts to purify and to bring a mind to alertness, and then you open the lid with the lever of discrimination. It's all very beautiful. And then we're going to find something enclosed within. And that's all. Very simple. But you need to go through the effort to soak this thick crust of ignorance in your efforts to purify, rather than your efforts to search for happiness elsewhere, in one of these realms, or even in the world of objects here in the Vyavaharika. Does you see, Rama, that all efforts are only to be direct to cleaning up the mental impressions of predispositions? Intellects are the cumulative effects of the predispositions acquired by actions in the past. Effort is necessary as long as the predispositions continue to put pressure in the intellect. So we saw two kinds of predispositions now. One of them is the predisposition of deny value to the scriptures, to doubt the scriptures. And then we saw the other predisposition, which is a tendency to act, to do things all the time, all the time moving, doing things. And the other is the predisposition of having desires pop in your mind all the time that is going to keep one very busy to somehow to purify such a mind, because you need to be in discipline all the time. If you have a mind full of desire, you have to be watching that mind all the time. So effort is necessary. The dispositions are countless, but I will enumerate only a few. They are roughly classified in three groups: aparada, fault, karma, action, and karma, desire. So desire, action, and lack of shraddha, or finding fault on the scriptures and in the guru. The disposition typical of the first group, which is the group that does not have trust or confidence in the teachings, the disposition typical of the first group is diffidence toward the teachings and the guru, which are the teachings, the whole books, and the guru. No, I don't buy into these things. These are old, and these gurus are just intellectuals. They don't have the experience. They just talk about these things. They are deluded. So I don't trust the scripture and the guru. And this is the surest way to degeneration. I have lost a friend recently that started trusting, it was my student, started moving away. He had a certain event that happened in his life that brought him into a little bit of drinking too much, and then moved away from the class. And then when I see he wants to be my friend and only my friend, and he likes to debate and discuss any stupid things, I start moving away from him. And now he's angry with me, and he starts saying that, I think I'm God, and I think I'm superior than him. And then I say, man, there's not a question of being superior. So the teacher has self-knowledge. The student does not have self-knowledge, although he's the self. So this makes a difference, that the teacher is wiser and the student is less wise. So you should listen to me in terms of the teachings here, And he keeps going all over the place, going back to Catholic Church and trying to correct me. It's the worst possible. And he's a doctor. Doctor has incredible egos, incredible egos. Diffidence towards the guru. And it's a lesson to me. I have to be careful not to become too friendly with people, because people very often confuse the roles, as a friend and as a teacher. You start mixing up. And then when you see the person is not interested in you as a teacher, but as a friend, and then I had to tell him, I'm not a friend. I'm only a friend of my students, and only as a teacher. You are not going to find in me the friend that you'd like to listen to you when you are drunk or anything like that, The surest way to degeneration, misunderstanding of the teachings due to assertiveness or pride, is a phase of diffidence. So, no, because I looked into it, but you looked into it, but you are distorting. You are not understanding the teachings, misunderstanding. Because you you are righteous. You want to be righteous. You like to criticize everything, which is the case with this friend. Okay, so I'm righteous, assertive, and I'm proud because I'm a doctor, and it is a phase of diffidence and stands in the way of realization. For all these people, learn dependence and many other people, I have zero intolerance with people at this level. I just block them all in the Vedanta Brazil. I just block. Association with the wise and study of the whole books cannot remove this misunderstanding. So if someone is in this level, okay, of absolutely diffidence toward the scripture, the teachings and the guru, nothing can help the person, okay? Association with the scriptures and the guru will never remove this misunderstanding, this obstacle. The person is going to, I tend to say, go back, try to figure it out alone, and then Ishwara is going to teach you some lessons, and maybe in the future, in some future births, you may begin developing a value for the scriptures and to the guru, But don't stick around just throwing your ignorance around. They maintain that there is no reality transcending this world. Even if there are, it cannot be known. If one claims to know, one is deluded. You have a deluded mind. For how can knowledge make a person free from misery or help his emancipation? Exactly like this friend of mine from California. You see, I'm talking about him, especially two guys I'm talking, one here, one, because it's exactly how my relationship with this old friend ended up, No, you're deluded. This knowledge is just intellectual thing. It'll never free anybody. They have many more doubts and many more wrong notions, and the spiritual samsara, this new age, it's keep growing with wrong concepts and deceiving and misleading, and a lot of fraud people, a lot of crows go there and start developing their system and misleading people to want this experience or that. It's full, it's thick, and it's going to feed people with more doubts and wrong notions. And I see people being misled, and I know I cannot do anything. Okay? Nobody can do anything because there is always that help. Now, maybe this is not delusion. Maybe this is the way to resolve the human problem, because Vedanta is taking too long. There are many more persons who cannot, however, even if they are well educated by the scriptures, they will never grasp the teachings because their minds are too much cramped with predispositions to be susceptible to the subtle truths. I'm referring the people from the second group, the victims of past actions, Rajasic people unable to enter the stage of contemplation necessary to begin neutralizing and annihilating those vasanas. Too much Rajoguna. He's bringing now the second stage of people. Too much predispositions towards action. The third group is the most common, consisting of the victims of desire. Oh, I'm not very Rajasic, but I have many desires. So it's even worse, because if you have a lot of desires and you don't have Rajoguna, you're going to begin violating the Dharma because you want what you want and you don't have the energy to go and get it playing according to the rules. So, but these people, they consist of victims of desire who are always obsessed with a sense of doing, of duty, the desire to work, to accomplish my desires. Wow. There is a smell. I'm so sensitive to toxin. Somebody's burning something here immediately. It gives me a headache. I'm going to close this door. It's not as bad as India. In India, they put all plastic back as fuel to start the fire. Here it's not as bad, but sometimes there is some weird smell of things being burned. Desires are too numerous to count since they rise up endlessly like waves in the ocean. Yeah? So and then the author say even the stars are numbered. The stars seems to be infinite in number. No, you can number the stars in the universe, but desires you cannot. Desires are even more, they rise up endlessly and they never end. By the time you think you are counting them, there is many more popping up from the macrocosmic causal body, of the eternal jiva. The desires of even a single individual are countless. And what about the totality of all individuals? Each desire is too vast to be satisfied because it is insatiable, too strong to be resisted, and too subtle to be eluded. Music, music to our ears. That's so beautifully put. Each desire is too vast to be satisfied. So I want something, but I really want it exactly the way I want it, and I don't compromise, it has to be my way. So it's so difficult to be satisfied, each desire. And besides, it is never going to be satisfying. It's insatiable. And also they are too strong to be obstructed. So who is going to oppose this mind, which is a source of desires, countless desires, wildly springing and emerging in the conscious mind. So they are too strong to be resisted. At the same time, they are too subtle to be eluded. They are so subtle that when I see I'm already running towards the objects that without even noticing it, because they are coming from the causal body. I only see when I'm running to get it or running to avoid it. So the world being in the grip of this demon, ignorance, desire, I need things to complete myself. The world being in the grip of this demon, the world behaves madly and groans with pain and misery consequent to its own misdeeds. All actions are misdeeds because they are direct towards the world of object as a means to bring me peace, completion, and true satisfaction. So, and then I fail and I'm again back in misery. The world being in the grip of this demon behaves madly and groans with pain and misery. That person who is shielded by desirelessness, now he's talking about the person that somehow is free from this demon, free from this ignorance that says, no, you need to have this and this knowledge or experience to really be said to be enlightened or free or wise or whatever, So the person who is free from this demon, is like having a shield against the demon, protected by the demon with the shield called dispassion. So beautiful, So all my desires were first converted in devotion, to Ishvara, and then understanding that I have no control over my vasanas and my desires and my actions, and slowly understand that the objects, they do not contain the happiness I'm searching for. So I begin to develop what is passion, and then this passion in the end becomes so powerful that shields the one for all desires, because it's not only a question of objects are not real and objects they don't have true satisfaction, but the final understanding is I am the only source of true security and satisfaction, because I am Brahman, I am consciousness, I am full, I am consciousness. Nothing can touch me as consciousness. So this is the ultimate shield, but it begins with other levels of understandings, like Lena was saying that she presents to her friends. Now, we begin like that. So the person who is shielded by desirelessness is this passion, and safe from the wiles of the monster, this demon called desire. Only this person can alone rise to happiness. Do you understand? I love these teachings, and I like to present this to people, and everybody's running away from me. And I try to give such songs to my chickens, and they are not interested. So nobody is interested anymore.
It's a lonely path, huh?
Yeah, when you present these words, these kind of words to people, they say, oh my God, this is too much. I remember when I first arrived here, I had a short conversation with someone who believes to be spiritual in the spiritual world. I present few concepts of Vedanta. He said, oh, Arlindo, but this is too much. I don't want to go there. I want to be here. At least he was honest. But it's so radical. This is pure Vedanta, pure Upanishad. The person who is protected against this monster has a shield called dispassion. And only this person can experience peace and happiness. So if I tell that to people, most people, they think that I'm crazy, and this book is some crazy person who wrote it. You have to have total dispassion to be happy. No desire for any satisfaction towards the sensory objects, object of sensory perception that we get satisfaction. The true happiness rise in the person who has no desire for anything. It's very radical. Very radical. A person affected by one or more of these aforesaid three obstacles or dispositions cannot get at the truth, although the truth is always shining in the intellect as a hum. The first of them, the ones that do not trust the scripture, the first obstacle comes to an end on respectfully placing one's faith in the scriptures and in the Guru. Rather than criticize the Guru, finding fault on the Guru and the scriptures. The second, the ones who once compelled to act all the time, this obstacle may be ended only by divine grace. Divine grace which may descend on the person in this birth or in the future births, incarnations. I want to act all the time. Something must happen, because the person who wants to act all the time does not have the intellect to begin developing appreciation for the whole scriptures and to the Guru, because it's action-oriented. Action, it's results. So we have to wait for another incarnation. So no question of putting my faith on the Guru, because my The deal for me is to act, to consume the results of my actions. So I need a divine intervention, a divine burst. Yeah? There is no other hope for this person. The first one has a potential, according to the exposition here, because the person may have a good intellect, but does not have the trust in the revealed scriptures and the guru. But it has somehow a tendency for contemplate certain notions, ideas, and teachings. No? But I don't buy into these revealed scriptures and the guru. But I have a good intellect, but it's an adult intellect. The second only wants to know is action and to enjoy the results. The third must be gradually dealt with by this passion, discrimination, worship to God, study of holy scriptures, learning from the wise, investigation into the self, and so on, so that ignorance needs to be soaked through this process of good association. No? Okay, so it's not so bad to have desires. You just like Nisargadatta Maharaj used to say, desire is a problem, but it's unavoidable. And then if you have a desire, if you want to hold to a desire, just have a desire for the greatest. Have a desire for the supreme. Yeah? Have a desire for understanding your true nature. So gradually, this thing can be dealt with. Efforts to overcome these three obstacles are more or less according to the obstacles, the density of these obstacles. They can be very strong or less strong. They can be greater or less strong. So it makes total sense. We know some people require less effort to come to this final understanding. And some people need a lot of effort, but whosoever needed no effort in this lifetime, not necessarily means to say that did not do a lot of efforting in past lives as well. The most important of the qualification is the desire for knowledge, desire for emancipation, mumukshutva. Yeah? Intense desire for self-knowledge and freedom. Freedom from what? Freedom to the belief that duality is going to resolve my problem, that experience better, this, better that, better realm is going to set my mind free. No. You can find a better planet, and then maybe you find a different yuga there, but you're going to exhaust punya. And then every society, sooner or later, tends to become a little bit more tamasic, rajasic, and then when you see the yuga has changed, you are just spending your punya. The most important of the qualifications is the intense desire for knowing. Emancipation. Nothing can be achieved without this study of philosophy and discussion on the subject with others are truly useless, being no better than the study of arts or mathematics or chemistry. This is very, very nice, because as I have shared with you guys a few times now, what I had worked for me when I was searching for this final understanding was a strong desire, a total desire, a point of being, desperate. And I said, no, I need to know it, and I'm ready to pay with my own body, So I'm ready to die. Shwara, take my body, take my life, but give me the self-knowledge. Nothing can be achieved without this strong desire. You can know everything from the sculpture, be even a good expositor, unfolder, teacher. But that does not mean that you got it. So everything you study in the scriptures may just add up to your ignorance, but spiritual ignorance. I know everything about the Vedas and Vedanta. For the matter of that, one might as well hope for salvation by a study of sculpture and the practice of art. Yeah. So if accumulation of knowledge, scientific or knowledge or sculptural knowledge or any other field of artistic knowledge, none of this knowledge is going to free the individual or make the person liberated. Salvation is only possible through what? Knowledge. But when we talk about jnana, we talk of one single kind of knowledge that most people, even after months and years associated with Vedanta, they do not understand the nature of self-knowledge. Otherwise, you can choose anything and, no, study art, study chemistry, philosophy, blah, 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 blah. When you study everything, and then you're going to be liberated. Okay, good luck. Because now people talk about interdimensional universe in which you have to go there to learn everything as well. Therefore, the study of the philosophy, Vedantic philosophy, in the absence of a longing for self-knowledge, is like dressing up a corpse. I think I posted it in our group, no? Yeah, very nice. Okay, so I'm now the great Jnani, great Mahatma. I know everything. So I'm a fake. Again, Rama, a casual desire for emancipation is not going to do the job. It's better than no desire, but it's not going to complete the job. Such desire often manifests on learning of the magnificence of the emancipated state. On learning of the magnificence of the emancipated state, it's common to all, but never brings about any abounding result. Therefore, passing desire is worthless. He's saying here that if you have a lukewarm desire, this desire usually will stop or manifest as the effort for deep meditation to reach certain deep states such as samadhi. So I have a desire for liberation, and but somehow my desire is going to take me only as far as yoga. So, and then at least when my mind is resolved through the effort of discipline and control, I feel I am emancipated. But but a lukewarm desire is not going to take you to self-recognition, self-knowledge. So these emancipate samadhi states is relatively common to the seekers, but never brings about abiding results, because as we know, the mind modifies once we stop our efforts to control or purify it. Therefore, a lukewarm desire is not going to do the job. It's better than no desire, definitely. It's better to pursue yoga, or samadhi, than pursuing the world of sensory objects. Definitely, I would say so. The desire must be strong enough and abiding in order that it may bear fruit. The effects, the fruits, are going to be proportional to the intensity and duration of this desire. Oh my God, this almost brings tears in my eyes. The effects, the results, are going to be in proportion to the intensity of this desire and the duration, how long. It should not be a desire that fades according to impatience. Oh no, I'm holding this desire. I want it so much, but now 20 years have passed, no, I'm gonna move back to the world and I'm giving up this desire. It has to be intense and has to be enduring. I would say the duration must remain there until this desire manifests as self-knowledge. And the funny thing here is that this desire, in the very end, it kind of turns to be an obstacle as well. Now, mumukshutva is a desire for something that you already have. Okay, so in the late stages, you desire the final understanding, as was my prayers were at the time. But still you are believing that you need to accomplish something, and then when you are utterly frustrated, and then somehow you give up, and that is what I understand Ramana Maharaj pointing to when he says that devotion and jnana, they are complementary, simultaneously, because if you go through jnana, investigation, doing self-inquiry, in the end you have to surrender in devotion and let it go, because any personal desire at the very end represents a certain obstruction. And if you begin with devotion, so that devotional tendency is going to purify your mind, but in the end you have to move to jnana, to self-inquiry. The effects are in proportion to the intensity and the duration. You hold that desire. It's bigger than you. You don't need to make an effort to desire self-knowledge. It takes you over. You forget about all other desires. The other desires were consumed in the fire of this desire. The desire must be accompanied by efforts for the accomplishment of the purpose. Now, the guru here, Dattatreya, is saying that have your desires, but you need to make an effort to accomplish the desire. Okay, what are the efforts I have to do? Purify and doing your Shravana, Manana, and Nididhyasana. Don't give up and run to the spiritual samsara. Just stay with it. Make an effort. Why? Because I trust the scripture. Oh, I don't trust the scripture. I trust the guru, but I don't. So my desire has to be strong, genuine, and then I have to put up the actions, which are intellectual actions, which is Shravana, Manana, and Nididhyasana, in order to accomplish the purpose of this desire. The purpose of this desire, it must distinguish itself, and then when there is no disturbance in the mind, you just realize, I am that I am. Then only will there be concerted efforts. Beautiful. Just as a man scalded by fire runs immediately in search of soothing unguents, something to take away the pain of the burning. The person in that condition does not waste any time. Okay, but just a moment, let me pick up my cellular here, and then I'm going to take care of this burning. No, the person is just going like that. I'm burning, I just run to the lake, or I run somewhere where I can have this excruciating pain removed. There is no time for other pursuits. That's why it said a burning desire. A burning desire. That's the meaning. When you desire something like so intensely, it's like you are burning and you have no time to waste. So likewise, the aspirant for moksha must run after emancipation to the exclusion of all other samsaric pursuits. Yeah. Spiritual samsaric is herefores, or even mundane spiritual pursuits. Such an effort is fruitless and is preceded by indifference to all other. Such an effort is fruitful. Sorry, such an effort becomes fruitful, manifests, no? And it is the sign. It's preceded by indifference to all other things. This passion must be there before, so you lose the desire for things of this realm or otherwise other realms. Your only desire is self-investigation, self-knowledge, and all your effort goes into that direction. And this desire grows as it burns all other desires. No? It's beautiful. It's so beautiful. I'm so grateful we are doing that. It's everything is looking so much more beautiful than when I unfolded this Tripura in Portuguese language a couple of years ago. That's so wonderful. I think only one book I can read it for the rest of my life, and I'm good to go. Okay. My dear friends, today is Thursday. We meet on Monday now. And Shwara willing. I hope it does. Namaste. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Namaste. Thank you. Goodbye. Bye now. Bye later. We meet on Monday.
Thank you, Arlindo. Great satsang today.
Thank you, brother.
Bye now.
Bye-bye.